good afternoon. It's once again 5:30 on a Friday, and I am your host for the next 25 minutes of Hotline 21. You know, it's been a very interesting week for me. I don't know if I intended or thought the week was going to be as interesting, but it's been a good week. As a matter of fact, it's been such a good week that I've been singing. It's a good day for moving along, and it's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day, everything is right, and nothing can go wrong. 'Cause it's a good day. It's a good day for shining your shoes. It's a good day for losing your blues. Well, it's been all right because the good Lord has blessed us, and we're still looking up instead of looking down. We are better off than an awful lot of people in the world. And so it's always here just delightful to be here with you. Of course, we are coming up on the greatest day in the world. Mother's Day is Sunday. And I'm sure all of you have fond memories and things that I can think of so many wonderful things about my mother until it just ain't funny. As a matter of fact, my mother, I always said she was the best social worker I've ever met in my life. She never went to social work school for one day or for any other school. She did finish the 8th grade because that's as far as they had a school for blacks to live in my town where I grew up when my mother was growing up. They didn't go any further than the 8th grade. If you went beyond that, you had to go away and go to a boarding school that the churches had put up in another town a few miles away. Or you could go and live with some relatives somewhere else where they actually went beyond 8th grade for African Americans. I'm a big fan of a fellow named Julius Rosenwald, and people sometimes ask me why. Well, he was the president of Sears Roebuck, and he really put Sears on the map, but he did much more than that. He built over 500 schools for African Americans in rural small towns in the South. They call those the Rosenwald schools. And so I've always had a fair amount of affinity for this gentleman after I learned some of his exploits. But speaking of my mother, I had several wonderful experiences. One, my mother was sick a great deal. She suffered from diabetes and high blood pressure and stuff like that. And one time, when I was a college student, I lived between where we lived and the hospital that she had to go to, which was more than 100 miles from where we lived. And one time she was on the way to the hospital. She thought she was going to die. And I was on my way to see her. I'd gotten my uncle to drive me down to see her that Sunday. And I thought I met them. I said, that looks like my father's car. And I finally convinced my uncle that it was, and we turned around. And I said, let's go back. I think that looked like them. And when we got back to the town where I lived, where the school was, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I stopped by where I was living, and my mother and father were there. He was taking her to the hospital. And she told me that she had thought she was going to die, and she wanted to stop by and see me before she did. Well, I mean, obviously that elevated my being. Then there was another time when I came to visit, came home, and money was never big concern of ours. We just didn't have any. It wasn't no big deal. But I was getting ready to leave and take the bus. My mother gave me a big hug and put her hands in my pocket, and I'm joking, saying to her, "Look, don't be putting your hand in my pocket. I'm a big boy. I might have stuff in my pocket I don't want you to know about." When I got back to the dorm, I felt a piece of paper in my pocket, and it wasn't there before. And I pulled it out, and lo and behold, it was a balled up $20 bill. I mean, how could a mother like that? When my mother died, my sisters and brothers and I sat up a long time talking about which one of us was her favorite child. And every one of us had stories to tell as to why we thought we were the favorite. My father was in the other room, and he had gone to bed. So he got up and came back where we were and says, "I heard you all talking about Mazza. Which one of you was her favorite child?" And he says, "Well, I want you to know that neither one of you was her favorite." He said, "'Cause I was." He says, "I knew her longer than any of you did. And so I know I had to be the favorite." Well, if you've got a story you'd like to share with us about your mother, why don't you just give us a call and let us hear it. Our number is 312-738-1060. And I love hearing stories about mothers. And if you want to call in and tell us about something else, that's all right too. You know, we are facing some difficult times in our world. Iran and Israel have, as a result of, I would say as a result of the president getting rid of the agreement that we had relative to that country and reinstituting sanctions and all, Israel and they have had their, well, I won't say low. Anytime weapons are being fired, that concerns me a great deal. But caller, are you there? Go right ahead. Yes, caller, are you there?
Congressman Danny Davis, how you doing there?
I'm doing just wonderful.
Oh, you look so, every time I see you looking younger and younger, I swear to God.
Oh, that just makes my day.
Okay, all the things that you do for the city of Chicago. I see you on that TV all the time. You're the best looking man up there, I swear to God.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, how's your wife doing? She okay?
She is doing okay. We are scheduled to have a little date on Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, like
yeah.
dinner.
You're talking about mamas and daddies. I got a sad story. I'm Italian, see?
All right.
My sister was born here. My father come from Brooklyn, New York, see? Back in the day, my father was a number runner in New York. I'm sure you know what that is. And then they came to Chicago, had my sister, went to Las Vegas and had me. We went to California. My father met a woman, stayed with her. My mother died in my arms when I was 8 years old, Danny Davis. Passed away in my arms at 50 years old, my mother. So it's kind of hard for me every Mother's Day for these 54 years on my earth.
I know what you mean.
Yes, sir. And my father wound up staying with the mistress, left us like 2 little bags of laundry and never came back and got us. Came here and grew up in Melrose Park with my mother's brother. So, it's been hard. I get jealous of kids that say, "Oh, my mama don't do this and my mama don't do that." You ought to praise the Lord y'all have a mama. To hug you, to kiss you, to buy them flowers on Mother's Day. It's very, very hard when you grow up without a mom. But I did it. I'm married 29 years. I got a mother-in-law now. That's as close to a mother as you're going to get. So you people out there, you just take it easy. If you ain't got nobody to talk to, you call my Danny Davis. 'Cause I love you, Mr. Congressman. Okay?
Okay, and thank
What
you
you think
so
of
much. And I'm
what you
so delighted that your
don't hang up.
mother-in-law
Uh,
has taken the place. All right, thank you so much. We'll take our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, good evening, Congressman.
Okay, how you doing?
Pretty good. I just wanted to piggyback a little bit off of that story that you were telling about, I guess, Sears and, the things that went on down in Arkansas. My folks are from Arkansas. My dad used to tell me about those stories about, I guess they call it the Sears rolling stove back in the day.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And they come by and you sell goods, and then they come and deliver them. Uh,
You know, in Arkansas, they served you coleslaw. It ain't nothing but some cabbage raw.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, that was just something I wanted to mention to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. You know, life can be so great and so fascinating. I just have little vignettes about. Sometimes please, I don't want to talk. Go right ahead, caller. We're delighted to have you.
Yeah, how you doing, Connie Davis?
James, I'm doing good. How are you?
Okay. Now I think Donald Trump is brainwashing Keanu West, and he bring everybody like Rudy Giuliani. Like I said once before, God go deal with Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani. All this coming out, and I think Louis Farrakhan should talk to Keanu West because I think Keanu West been brainwashed by Donald Trump and everybody else.
Well, you know, some people have thoughts and ideas and notions and concepts that we don't all agree with. I must confess that I was a little surprised to hear that comment coming from Mr. West. But you know, I've never thought of entertainers as being my leaders. I don't have a problem with entertainers, but I never thought of them as being my leaders. So I don't know that it matters too much.
I
What?
think Louis Farrakhan should talk to Keanu West.
Yeah, yeah, that may help him out a little bit. But I guess he has a right to his opinion, and he also has a right to be wrong. And so I think that he's kind of off the track, and hopefully somebody will help him
Okay.
understand this business a little bit better.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, James. We'll go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman, and you know what? It's a good day. It's a wonderful day to be here on God's green earth.
It is indeed.
Except only when we start talking about certain person, it just makes your day just miserable. I ain't hate to even think about it. But anyway, listen, you talking about stories. I just lost my mother this summer.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm very blessed. I had her for 69 years. I miss this woman tremendously. But a story that I remember, we stayed on 71st Street, and we had a couple of businesses on 71st, right off of King Drive, where it was South Park there.
Yep.
And my mother was a beautiful woman, and I used to like to walk with her to the corner, 'cause that's as far as we would go. Back in those days, not too many of us was walking around up on 71st Street. But anyway, cars used to blow at my mother, and I used to just frown. What you looking at and blowing the horn, saying something to my mother? I was her protector.
Right on.
And I got to the corner, and there was a store there called Howlow. I ain't going to ever forget it. My mother says, "You are my big man. I know you would take good care of me." As long as she lived, that's what I did. I took good care of her. I was crazy over that woman. I truly love her and miss her. Now, but you said a story about Arkansas. I think I told you once before. My grandparents are from Pocahontas, Arkansas.
All right.
And we used to go down there. They didn't have sidewalks. You had to walk down the street. We couldn't go up to the first floor of the show. You had to go up in the balcony. I remember my grandparents. It was dry. They had to drive way up in the woods somewhere to get their drinks. But that's some of the
Get that
best.
moonshine, huh?
There you go. But that was some of the best times that I ever spent down south. I mean, they had a large farm. They killed the chickens, the hogs, and everything. It was just a wonderful experience for a city boy to go down there and have a great day. But listen, I want to let you call all your listeners. I like to, especially the female. I like to wish you all a happy Mother's Day. And if your mother's not around, you still got some people that listen to Congressman Davis. We would like to wish them a merry, good, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for taking the call. Let me get out there and so I can hear your response. And again, it's always good to see you.
Thank you so very much, and we are just enjoying these comments and stories. We'll keep going right to the phone. Caller, are you there?
Yes, sir, Congressman Davis.
Yes,
You look
sir.
mighty spiffy today. Let me tell you once again.
Well,
You know
today
what I
is
want to say?
Brown Day.
But I want to tell you this. I want to say to Steve that my mom was the same way, and I want to wish wish a belated Happy Mother's Day to his mom, because I know he loved her very much, like I loved my mother. But you know what, Congressman Davis, I want to say this. Have you ever taken your lovely wife to a Mexican restaurant on Mother's Day?
Mexican restaurant,
Yes.
not on
Very,
Mother's Day.
okay, because you know what? You can go there, and on Mother's Day, they all have mariachi bands. You could ask a waitress or hostess, listen, can you tell them to come here and play a love song, a love ballad to my wife? And they'd be happy to. That would make her day, make your day, and make everybody else's day, Congressman. You're a great man. I know you've been around, but maybe you should try that just one time.
All right. Well, she made the reservations for dinner. So I don't know what kind of restaurant we're going to.
Okay, next year then.
All right. I just kind of follow her lead. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Caller, are you there? I think we may have exhausted. Well, but that's all right. You know, I see the way some children, I just can't even figure out how they could curl their lips, how their tongue would let them address their mothers the way that they do. I just can't, I just can't imagine it. My mother used to tell us, say, honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long. And then she'd probably say laughingly, because if you don't, I'm going to kill you myself. I mean, she could be punishing you for something, and she'd be laughing all at the same time. And we'd say, what's so funny? She said, well, I thought it was just funny the way you was trying to get under the bed and all that. She said, I ain't mad with you. I'm just trying to make sure that you are corrected and that you understand that your behavior was inappropriate. And so the best way that I could show you that I love you is not to let you go off half-cocked, half-baked. And I am so delighted that I had those experiences with my parents. And so whatever I am, whatever I do, whatever I've been, it was my parents who was my shero and my hero. And they have been the wind beneath my wings. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank all of those who have been mothers and fathers to children, because they are the salt of the earth, the pillars of the universe. Have a wonderful week. We will see you next week, and we'll talk about those things that President Trump has been tweeting about. But we had a wonderful day in Chicago. There was a big conference that the Jack Kemp Foundation had that I attended along with Speaker Paul Ryan and some other people. And we'll talk about that next week. But our time is really up. And Carly, take 30 seconds.
So where now?
Good evening, Travis. But
Yep.
my mom on the line here on the freeway calling one of them. Let us say hello to you. She's from Arkansas.
All right.
So where now?
Thank you so much. Our time is up, so we got to go. So to be courteous to the next person coming in, and we'll see you next week.